Hi everyone, welcome to Thursday. And of course, every Thursday we take a look at a particular share. This time it's on the New Zealand market and review it and see how it's been performing. Today we're going to take a look at Contact Energy. And the reason we're going to take a look at that is Infratil have announced that they are selling 5% of their shareholding, leaving them with about 9.1% holding. So if you're already holding Contact Energy, no doubt you may have received notification about this offer already. So we'll do an analysis as to what the offer is and what is currently happening with the share. Just remember though that this is for educational purposes only. It is certainly not intended to be personalised financial advice. If you're unsure, you do need to go and have a chat to your own financial advisor. Right, let's take a look at Contact Energy. The notification that I received last week is that Infratil are prepared to sell 5% of their holdings in Contact Energy at $9.25 per share. And that represented a 7.3% discount on the share price when it closed on the 19th of May, which was at $9.98. Now, this is where you need to be careful, in my view. You can see here, this is the 5-year chart. And once that was announced, look what happened. You had a really big sell-off in Contact Energy last week. And in fact, it's only trading at 10 cents above where the offer is. What you quite often find is that when an offer like this is presented to the market will react accordingly and will quite often sell down to where that discounted offer was. And the opposite will also happen if there is a takeover and if the offer is significantly above where the market is currently trading, you will quite often see the market rally. But I just wanted to have a look at Contact Energy. I hadn't done any research until starting this video for you because I just wanted to see exactly what it was doing on the back of that offer. Right, let's go and put our moving averages on and just see what they're telling us. So again, I use the 30 exponential. And if I zoom back in on that 5-year chart, you can see that last week, because of that big sell-off, and I would suspect it's off the announcement with Infratil selling their 5% holdings, that's what's driven it down below that 30-week moving average. Let's also put on the 15-week and just see what that's telling us. Because just because it's closed slightly below that 30-week moving average, it doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad thing because sometimes they can realign and that's fine. So Infratil has closed last week just below that 15-week moving average as well. You can see if I zoom in, they've both got a little bit of an arc on them, which could mean that they could be potentially in a little bit of a downtrend, or it just could be a wave movement. We would really need to see what this week happens with Contact Energy as to whether it's sort of going to stabilize at around that $9.25 or whether it will continue rallying again. Let's go back to the 1 year and take a look here. And you can see, look at this, gosh, basically when the market closed on Wednesday and then opened on Thursday, that was where the sort of placement announcement was made, if you like, and there was a huge sell-off. So you can see this big gap. You can see a very little dashed line up where my cursor is at around $9.28, and then it suddenly fell and down to about $9.34, and at the moment it's at $9.35, so we're only talking a cent difference. So that surprised the market, and as you can see, it was a negative surprise for the market. And if you look at the moving averages, they've both dipped very, very sharply. They haven't crossed to the downside. So that, like I said, even on the 1 year chart is something that we do need to keep an eye on. We'll just go back to that 1 year chart, and if we disregard what happened last week, Contact Energy had been in a fairly good sort of an uptrend. We'd seen a fair bit of flat patches, then we'd seen a rise, then we went through another bit of flat patch and it rose again. That is quite often a sign of a relatively healthy share, if you like, one that we want to see as trending upwards. like I keep saying, the news last week has really surprised the market. So if I was holding Contact Energy or if I wanted to participate, to be honest, at the moment, because I'm only looking at about a 10-cent differential and there was that massive sell-off, and Infratil will currently hold or retain their holdings of about 9.1% according to the email that I received. But they've also said that they're not going to sell any more immediately. They're going to wait. So they could be looking to sell more later on. Who knows? But at the moment, the market really doesn't like it. So probably for me, I'm certainly not going to participate in it. Yes, I could be buying these shares at about 10 cents less than where the market is, but I really personally only ever participate in those sorts of offers if the market is in a genuine upswing and the market is happy with the news that it's received. Otherwise, for me, it can be a little bit of a cautionary sign. It's entirely up to you. Like I said, you do need to go and have a chat to your own financial advisor if this is something that you're thinking of, because there will be people out there that will quite happily, hopefully, take a 10% premium with buying the shares at that discount and then sell it once the shares are transferred over into their name. I'm not exactly sure when that is going to happen, but I just know the announcement was made last week. So maybe just keep an eye on it, see when the placement has to be made by, when you have to make your decision by, and that could help you form your decision as to whether it is a good investment. Because, hey, if this turns around and the market just sort of shrugs it off, which, hey, it could happen, then yes, it could be worth doing. However, if the market keeps saying, no, we don't like it, we're going to keep selling off, well, then no, it's not something that you'd want to participate in. I'll stop sharing, but I'll leave that decision up to you. And like I say, it is something you would definitely need to talk to your own financial advisor about. I just wanted to cover it because there's been a lot of capital raisings and a lot of sort of unusual activity, if you like, happening in the market that I wanted to bring to your attention. So I really do hope that's helped. And if you've got anything you want to know about any shares at all, even if you want to know a little bit more about Contact, you've got a few questions, reach out. I'm happy to help, happy to share my knowledge and obviously help you with your financial journey as well. So until next week, I look forward to hearing from you, but take care.